Big Shots is a new roguelike mech shooter for Quest and SteamVR. There aren't many mech games in VR, so this is one I was really looking forward to. When I first jumped in the mech, I was amazed at the sense of immersion when checking out the interior. It really feels like you're on a serious piece of hardware. The game puts you in small arenas fighting off hordes of bugs, which kind of feels like Starship Troopers in a Borderlands universe. There are 6 waves in each level, but the final wave with the boss is a big jump in difficulty, which I found quite challenging. Until I realized the strategy is like Call of Duty Zombies, where you kite the zombies to make it easier to manage. Fortunately, after every wave you get to choose one of 3 random upgrades, which range from increasing damage or fire rate, reducing cooldown rate, adding elemental damage and other weapon modifications. The currency you earn can be used to buy passive upgrades that persist throughout every game. However, you can only equip up to 6 upgrades at a time, so you've got to think about what type of strategy you want to play to figure out your mech's loadout. Passive upgrades range from health and weapon upgrades, jetpack and dash cooldown, elemental modifications and so on. There are also cosmetic upgrades, but unless you're playing co-op, it's a lot wiser to save your credits for weapon and mech upgrades, which make a big difference. As for the weapons, there are 4 in total and only 2 can be equipped at a time. You can swap between each gun for both hands, so you can either use one of each or even dual wield both of the same gun. So my initial strategy was to dual wield the same gun so I can focus all my upgrades on it. But I later realized it's better to use 2, as each gun has its own advantages. You start with the flat cannon and flamethrower, which are free, but there's also a laser and grenade launcher which need to be purchased. The flat cannon is your usual bullet or shell cannon. It can overheat, but there are upgrades such as faster cooling, as well as increased fire rate, or with an epic upgrade turn it into a Gatling gun. The flamethrower is a short-range attack with a large spread, but even with upgrades it was a little underwhelming and can also block your view at times. The laser can shoot individual shots like the flat cannon, but the real power is in the laser beam, which you can charge up by holding the trigger for a few seconds. This is also very effective for long-range shots on flying enemies and bosses, so I consider the laser a must-have as there's a lot of long-range combat. Lastly, the grenade launcher is a timed grenade which has area of effect damage, making it great for attacking groups. You can either shoot grenades instantly or hold to cook and launch right before exploding. However, this takes way too much micromanaging, which is quite hard to use in the heat of battle. Plus the damage is too low for the time and effort. So my preferred setup is the flat cannon and laser in each hand, as both are effective at short and long range. Plus the laser beam is very powerful once fully charged, so upgrades like reduced charge time and extended beam duration can turn this into an absolute beast. And while it's charging, you can keep firing with the flat cannon, so it's a great combination. As for the gameplay, I really enjoy these roguelike wave shooters, but I felt a little held back in this game due to the controls. So the first thing you must do is change the default turning method from holding and dragging to joystick turning, as the default makes the game needlessly difficult. The other issue is because the mech interior takes up so much of your view, the FOV is smaller than it should be, and when you're surrounded by enemies you need to constantly turn around to maintain awareness. Fortunately, there is a radar that indicates enemies around you, but it doesn't show any walls or obstacles. So I found myself bumping and backing into walls a lot, especially in the smaller indoor levels. The levels also have a lot of verticality and some of the enemies have large ground attacks, so you do need to use your jetpack a lot. However, the launch acceleration and speed is quite slow, so I usually only use it when I have to. It also requires you to pull a lever in the mech, which means you've only got one hand free to shoot and turn, which can be quite challenging. Fortunately, there's also a dash which is triggered by pressing the joystick, and it works in every direction, even while airborne. However, the cooldown between dashes is a little longer than it should be. The hardest part of the game are the boss battles, so if you have trouble, you'll want to kite the enemy so you can focus all your firepower on the boss. I only shoot the enemies if I accidentally corner myself and need to shoot my way out. Otherwise, killing enemies is a distraction, as the longer you play for, the more they'll wear down your health, so you have to keep moving and focus fire on the boss to survive. Overall, after my 7 hours of play, I did enjoy the game, but not as much as I thought I would due to these issues. I was hoping it would be a lot more fast paced and with a lot faster mobility, so I do feel these small issues really hold back the game's true potential. However, I've passed on my feedback to the devs, some of which they've already applied in the first patch, and the rest they're taking on board, so hopefully there'll be more improvements, as there's a lot of small changes that could really change the game. Lastly, the game also has 2-player online co-op, but I wasn't able to find any multiplayer lobbies when I played, although you can also find players in their Discord. If you made it this far into the video, let me know what you think, as after 5 years of VR content, this is somehow my first review. So if you have any feedback, let me know how I can improve, as I plan on doing more reviews moving forward. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and feel free to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.